Yes, it's not a good podcast. It's not a bad podcast. It's the Slamcast, the podcast. I am your host, Brendan Liggan, joined, as always, by Nick Horaceck and Miguel Leon. We're going to talk about Payback and some things going down with ROH. Weird. We have a feeling we might have to redo this episode by the end of the weekend, but we're going with it as of now. Welcome to the Slamcast. Gentlemen, how are you? Miguel's about to be unemployed, about to be joining the ranks of the employed. So,
that's right, everybody. I am the Dolph Ziggler of Slamcast because I am doing all of the jobs.
Yeah,
yes.
Or it's you're the insert highly touted wrestling free agent here because you're getting all the offers now. Highly sought after man, you are.
Yeah, 2 official ones and then 1 that's pending. So I've got to make my decision by the end of the week, as not to piss off the recruiters. Which go ahead.
No, go on.
I was gonna say big shout out to a lot of the guys that put in a good word for me. The guys and gals out there. You really helped the movement happen, as it were. So
all your good brothers and sisters out there in the IT world.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, soon enough this won't ruin my ability to appear on Slamcast. I know we like to do these late nights. So
sometimes
hopefully
we might adjust your schedule for you. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, no, you have your show. You got your Nerdcast thing that you're doing. I am
the human podcast machine right now, bro. Like I have so many balls in the air right now. I don't even know where to begin. My plugs this week are going to be like 10 minutes.
Just make sure that they're fondled accordingly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, speaking of good brothers and sisters, we'll be talking about that later on, too, because a pair of good brothers made their debut on Monday Night Raw this week, and it was everything I expected. We'll talk about that later when we get to our Slamcast, our Payback review on Slamcast. But first off, in a weird... Well, I guess we'll talk about it first, because we did have a future endeavoring, if you will.
Yep.
Rich Brennan has been given his walking papers by WWE. Long live the Tom Phillips era!
Well, I hear they just melted him down since he was just a Michael Cole clone. They just kind of he was a spin-off of the Michael Cole program. The Gene.
They just you know what I think it is. I think I think Scott Sanford absorbed him to keep his job in the company.
So what is this Highlander now? He just sliced his head off and just absorbed him,
like the quickening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Scott
Sanford did that. Good.
Full Metal Alchemist. I was trying to make like Full Metal Alchemist, like they just sacrificed like a homunculus.
I was gonna say Scott Sanford did the same thing to what's his name that got fired from TNA, Todd Kennelly. No one knows who that is. Was I the only one watching TNA during that period?
You might have been. Again,
yeah.
I forgot more wrestling than a lot of people will ever remember.
Yeah, it's going to be down to Scott Stanford versus Kevin Kelly at the end of it. It's just that's going to be the Kurgan-Connor McLeod battle.
There could be only one.
Yeah.
Man, this was great. This is great banter. Great banter. But, I mean, no fouls, Rich Brennan. I mean, he tried. He certainly did his best. I have a feeling he'll bounce back. He doesn't strike me as a wrestling guy. I'm sure he'll find a job someplace else pretty quickly.
Right. I mean, Rich Brennan did what he did well enough. Like, you could tell he was one of those guys that WWE brought in to build from scratch. That's why I said he's the Michael Cole clone. It was like with Michael...
I think he might have been a Full Sail guy, I think.
Yeah.
Like, worked his way up through that system.
Yeah, I mean, it's different from Todd Phillips. Todd Phillips has really built his own. It like Scott Stanford kind of did when he was
exactly.
Here's
why I'm a big Todd Phillips fan, or maybe I'm more of a Corey Graves fan, but I feel the rapport between those two comes off and feels natural, and they make 4 or 5 week old NXT tapings that they're showing now that they taped during WrestleMania weekend at Access seem like fresh and at least somewhat believable that this did happen just a few weeks ago. Excuse me.
I mean, come on.
Plus, him and Corey Graves together.
Corey Graves telling Tom to shut up during Eva Marie's entrance. That's the best part of the whole Eva Marie act is Corey Graves losing his shit.
That does help. That does help. Hey, she is getting better, and she is trying.
Yes.
Hashtag Eva Marie will be a WWE Divas. I almost said the D word. WWE Women's Champion, beef come hell or high water. Okay, moving on from the Tom Phillips, Rich Brennan experience.
By the way, just to kind of dovetail off of that, Rich Brennan's background includes announcing mostly hockey games. His biggest achievement being he was the communications manager for Comcast Sports.
Okay, so he wasn't a Full Sail guy. I didn't have my Rich Brennan Wikipedia right in front of me.
He doesn't have a Wikipedia article. I got this from Pro Wrestling Wiki.
Nice. Remember story number 2 we were going to talk about?
The never-ending saga of Dixie Carter's company?
Yeah, okay, yeah. In weird TNA news this week, the story just got even weirder. A certain somebody made their debut. That was Eric Young. Congratulations to Eric Young showing up on, I guess, this week's tapings in Tampa. I think is where they said they were.
I think they're back in Full Sail. Yeah, they're back
in Full Sail now?
Yep.
So, Eric Young showing up, making a big impact. So we'll see that in a few weeks. But in a story that broke, and I literally just became informed of it about a half hour, an hour, so I haven't really been fully up to verse of these guys are going to have to, carry me through this segment, but it does represent a shift in the paradigm, if true, in wrestling. Sinclair Media is rumored to be one of the potential buyers for Impact Wrestling now that Panda Energy is now out. They are looking for buyers. They are downsized as much staff as possible. Move their headquarters to their warehouse of their merchandise.
Yep.
It looks like hard times. No offense, no pun. Pun somewhat intended. For Impact Wrestling, and now this reported interest from Sinclair Media representing, I guess, the 2 and 3 promotions in America coming together and merging into one company.
Well, basically where it's coming from is a report from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio saying that Sinclair has been rumored to want to be in the... They've been trying to buy up TNA for a while now, but they've been consistently been denied due to the offers that they have been relatively lowball. They kind of have been giving them low offers, which can you really blame them at this point with TNA? I mean,
it's also Dixie Carter still wants full control, so...
Right, but here's the thing. This was also back when Panda Energy was still a major provider of money. At this point, the only company that's really giving them any money, really, is Aurolux. Aurolux. They're the company that is working with the Harris brothers to funnel money to TNA. That's kind of they're in at this point. So they're in a weird place right now, but it would not surprise me because it does sound like ROH has been getting money pumped into it as of late now. They've been able to up their production, up the ring quality, the cameras, things like that. So it seems like Sinclair as a whole might see gold in their hills when it comes to ROH now. And if that's the case, I mean, Sinclair is no slouch when it comes to media. They're one of the biggest providers. They're one of the biggest media groups out there. They own tons of channels, like several dozen of them. So from what I'm reading, the 2 big draws for this deal are the tape library and the international deals, which has been ROH's biggest issue, is branching out into international markets. If they get TNA, that's their in. That's how you get into an international market, which, like I said, ROH really doesn't have. So I guess if they can pick it up at a low cost, it's not a bad deal to have. I think it really is good. And honestly, I think it's a strength for both companies because on their own, I think they have parts that can make them successful, but I think combined is really going to help keep a second wrestling company stable, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the market itself at this point in time, there's really only room for one alternative to WWE at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way ROH could really realistically mount a challenge, or at least can be considered as a legitimate competition alternative to WWE. But together with their combined strength, like you said, I think is the only way that Ring of Honor at least could attempt to try and make a legitimate play for increased market share in America and the world.
Well, say what you want about Pop TV. Like, a lot of people shit on TNA, which going from Spike to Destination America to Pop TV is a big step backwards. But for a company like ROH to not only have the syndication deal and the international market, but to also get that Pop TV deal, which would be rolled in with the TNA deal. If they got the rights to TNA, they would have whatever was left of the Pop TV deal would be huge for them, at least on an American scale. I'm not sure what Pop TV's international reach is, but that would be a big step forward, similar to the Destination America deal. So that would be huge.
Sorry, I was petting a dog.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, if ROH can start getting a lot more exposure, that's always a good thing, because I definitely want to try and find other ways to watch Ring of Honor. I mean, I watched, just a couple weeks ago, the main event of Dalton Castle and Silas Young in a fight without honor.
We usually don't have to shake hands. Yeah. Well, look, I will watch any match where it has Dalton Castle in it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Now, I do have... Go ahead.
No.
Would you say you're a Dalton Castle boy, Brandon?
I am a Dalton Castle boy for sure. That's for sure.
Okay.
I'm one of the boys. I'm the fat one.
I will say this. There is one little wrinkle that I want to add to this that I'm reading up on, and this goes into what a lot of people have been speculating that I've seen on articles, which is the idea that if ROH does bring in TNA, what does that mean for WWE? Because ROH COO Joe Koff recently appeared on the Ross Report, and this quote was taken out from that entire segment. Quote, on regards to the relationship between ROH and WWE, quote, if they think that we're strong enough to be considered to be a part of their plan, I would certainly be open to it. I'm not sure how that would work, and I'm not sure that that's something they're open to, unquote. So I think from that, people are assuming that if ROH buys up TNA, that might be a situation where they're basically, putting all the eggs together for WWE to scoop up, and the idea that there may end up being, similar to what happened with ECW and WCW, a wrestling monopoly.
I was just about to get that, because I think this story coming out in the press, or at least being released by Uncle Davey, is maybe bait or subterfuge for maybe WWE potentially getting into it. Like, WWE hears this now, and now maybe somewhere, at least if they haven't taken place already, high-level corporate discussions go in and see what is that brand worth, what talent is there, what assets also can we acquire. I think the biggest asset WWE sees in TNA and Impact Wrestling is the tape library, like you said, for AJ Styles, Christian, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, Sting. Although I really don't think there's a whole lot of great categories to Sting. I don't think Sting is really,
He was in TNA for a long time.
He was okay, but I mean, the match that he had with Angle, I think I remember a good match he had with him.
The Bound for Glory one from 2007. I love that match.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that match. That was good.
The The matches with AJ Styles were really good.
Matches with AJ Styles was good. Okay, all right. So maybe you're selling me on this.
Yeah, I think not good.
Or if even if Sinclair and Ring of Honor buys that, WWE gets access to that library, that part of the library that they want, where they could at least carve off a piece that they want, or at least a share. The right to use that footage as they please for the network and for the home video library collection.
Right.
We will see if this happens, though. I mean, this is a very interesting time. Are we going to see, Kerry Silkin show up on an episode of Impact Wrestling at the same time that Ring of Honor TV happens? That's impossible because Ring of Honor tapes their shows.
Yeah, you can't. You're not going to get the live simulcast.
Could you imagine, though? Could you imagine?
What? I think there would be a small sector of the wrestling community that would appreciate that. But let's be perfectly honest. I think this is going to create more of a foundation for Ring of Honor to grow on. But at the same time, a lot of people are saying, like, oh, this is going to be a huge catalyst. They're going to be the de facto number 2. This is going to be big. Like, stop.
Well, to me, I think they already are the de facto number 2 because, A, this is where all the top young talent, before they inevitably, if they don't get signed to WWE right out the gate, like some people I know, that's the place where they want to go. They want to go to that ROH dojo and work their way up through there to then inevitably get on one of the bigger promotions. My friend LSG just made his debut on ROH TV a couple weeks ago, so shout outs to LSG. Had a birthday this week too, and made his debut on ROH TV. Good thing coming. Stay tuned. He's a guy to watch. On the rise, young brother on the rise.
Yep.
But like I said, I think ROH has always been that de facto number 2 promotion. I think if they make this business transaction acquisition, that's only just basically proving that to the rest of the wrestling world who doesn't quite understand that yet. That's like them saying, all right, now it's us. Now is our time. Do they become like this? Does this going to start another wrestling war? I don't think so. No. I don't think even if they do that, they are still one thing, a national cable television show away from being that. I think the second they get that, if someone steps up for that, well, then you might then business, as they say, might just pick up, because then Ring of Honor then becomes a wrestling promotion that has a national cable television deal in America. Mm-hmm. That's the big game changer.
Right. I don't think you're ever going to get a situation like, for instance, TNA 2010, when it legitimately seemed like they were going to take over the world. I don't think we're ever going to come anywhere.
In 2010, they did not. No, I don't think anybody outside of TNA diehards thought they were going to take over.
No, I will confess when the initial
you were drinking that Kool-Aid.
Oh, I had it piped in an IV, like right into my veins. Like
they had a shot.
Yeah, they did.
Bro,
they had a.
No, they didn't.
I think they did. I think
they had no chance. The WWE was about to go on one of the biggest pieces of creative they had done in the last 5 years versus the Nexus and then CM Punk. That's the best creative decisions WWE has made in a very long time.
Yeah, but that wasn't until at least like 2011, 2010.
It was...
Nexus was a couple months. Yeah, it was 2010. Punk ended up being 2011. They still bungled both of those.
Yeah.
But still, got people talking, and they bungled the finishes, but I think everything before that was
right
quality. But, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I'm going to firmly disagree where TNA ever had a chance to overtake WWE and become...
Well, not overtake, but become
they were
a serious
spending
player.
They were spending so much money to catch up that there was no way that unless everybody stopped watching WWE and switched over to Impact Wrestling one night, it was the only way.
Yeah,
they would have had again have a catalyst like Mick Foley winning the belt. Like there was just no
and Michael
that
Cole going on commentary saying, "Oh, that'll put butts in the seats."
I don't even think there was any talent at that time that could have done that. I mean, the only thing they probably could have done was if Daniel Bryan didn't have his no compete clause after getting fired from WWE, is immediately signed him up and then try to replicate that or find that, try and create that lightning in a bottle that WWE was able to do.
Right.
Fair enough. Speaking of talent, by the way, let's just get this out of the way right now. Ethan Carter III, Jeff Hardy, Mike Bennett, and the Wolves. Those are the only people that I think deserve to be moved from TNA to ROH if ROH does sign them. Everybody else, aside from maybe a few of the female performers, fuck them. Fuck them all. Fuck Abyss. Fuck Mr. Anderson.
No. Those 5 or 6 people that you just named as well. Those are the only people, if I was in WWE, that I would take from Impact Wrestling. That's
and they'd probably bring Matt Hardy in too with Jeff.
Oh, fuck Matt Hardy. Fuck him. I'm sorry. I've never been impressed by Matt Hardy ever. I've never been impressed by. Okay, version 1, V1. That was it. V1 and the stuff with MVP. Otherwise,
the stuff with Edge. You can't not be impressed with the stuff he did with Edge because that was raw, real.
That was
and driven by serious emotion all the time. Here's the thing. I've grown to appreciate Matt Hardy as much as he is a fucking joke at times. Like his behavior causes him to be the spot of ridicule.
Right.
He has a brain for this business that few people understand. There are not a lot of people with the wrestling acumen and intellect that Matt Hardy has.
Good. Sell his contract to GFW and he can book that. As far as I'm concerned.
I mean, that's probably what. Again, Impact Wrestling goes tits up. That's probably what happens because. I mean, I think he's made himself too radioactive. Him and his brother, I think they may have made themselves too radioactive.
But at the same time, Jeff Hardy is still a draw.
Exactly the pop. When the Hardys come out together, that's the only way to come up. It's like, all right, you guys are gonna do that, but you guys are gonna be the Hardy Boys again, or just be the Hardys. So they get one last Hardys Dudleys feud, and then. Hardy's, Dudley's, New Day.
Yes! Right there!
Book it, Dano. Book it.
Yes, WWE, we'll take our royalty check now.
I tell you what,
I'll take my job now.
Yes.
Oh, please.
Listen, if I'm ROH and I have the chance to sign Matt Hardy, I would do it for one reason. The Hardys versus the Briscoes, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
No, that's a draw.
I agree. I absolutely agree. That's a great match. I'm trying to think because at one point in time both Hardys were in ROH. At least Matt was. I don't remember if Jeff ever was. It might have been on the Indies somewhere.
True. Like I said, though, there's really not much talent on the TNA roster. All the guys that were worth getting, like an Austin Aries and a Bobby Roode and even an Eric Young, are now in NXT. So, yeah, Mike Bennett, EC3, Jeff Hardy, and the Wolves. I mean, you can take the females, whatever's left of them, but even then, that roster's pretty much whittled down. I mean,
depleted, like Afghanistan, bombed out and depleted.
I mean, I know that ROH is going to be building its women's division soon, but really, is Jade going to be a cornerstone of the ROH division?
No.
Gail Kim.
Rain is going to... Well, okay.
Gail Kim. Oh, yeah.
Gail Kim. You put Gail Kim in, what are they calling it, Women of Honor? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put Gail Kim in Women of Honor, and, that's...
That's pretty much it, though. Like, maybe I would say I would have said Velvet Sky if she was still signed with them, only because I'm a mark for her, but... And I wouldn't, if I'm ROH, I wouldn't even bother trying to get her signed. It's like, let her try to get let her try to politic into NXT and, make
Well,
whatever.
I mean, she does have the connection with Bully Ray. They are, I think, engaged or something like that. I don't
Oh, no,
remember
yeah, exactly.
I know they're together.
Yeah, I don't
Damn,
know.
Bubba, you lucky son of a bitch.
So that's what I'm saying. It's on the wrestling business.
Yeah.
It's Calfzilla, you got those... It's those calves, chicks love them.
Diesel, like me. We both have diesel calves and quads.
Oh, man.
But yeah, if long story short, I'm going to give credence to the ROH TNA deal. As far as anything beyond that, not really, but I can honestly see that because TNA is kind of... I know we've been saying for years that TNA has been on its deathbed, but this is where it's starting to get scary. This is where it's kind of like...
We might actually be right this time. I think we have literally probably pronounced this company dead 4 or 5 times in the last year.
Yeah.
I think one of these times we're going to be right, and this time very well could. I'm going to go really far out with this, and something what I would see happening is potentially WWE buying Impact Wrestling. It's completely out of left field, for the tape library and for whatever, and then doing an Impact Wrestling one-off event, bring all the old guys that were part of TNA, part of some of the new guys, AJ Styles, Austin Aries, and do an angle with that,
But why?
I don't know, to see what you have left, to see if the WWE fans would watch that product, and then there you go, you have more content for the network.
That's something I could see happening on NXT more than anything else. I could see Triple H kind of doing that, convincing Vince, put $1 million down on here.
Give it. No, here. I could do it. Just let me do it. This is what I'm doing. I need these guys. I just need AJ for these dates and this date right here. And kind of like how ECW had One Night Stand and then SmackDown guys showed up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen,
and then on the DVD there's a alternate commentary track of JBL just ripping the new one. Fan-fucking-tastic, man.
Why isn't that on the network?
I don't know. I can watch it because I have the DVD.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's one of my all-time... Those 2 pay-per-views, by the way, are some of my all-time favorite events.
Oh, man. It just fantastic matches, fantastic just everything about ECW. Yeah. The crowd was awesome. Just everything.
All right, segue complete. What was the other bit of news we wanted to talk about?
I did see this, that apparently Bayley may have suffered an ACL.
Yes! Injury. Oh, pray to the wrestling gods that this is not true.
Yeah, and it's not serious.
Yeah, or it's not as serious as it is, because if this is true, I mean, that's bad just for her. And I mean, I'm not saying it's terrible for the NXT women's division, but can Asuka be a long-term champion? I don't know, man.
I'm not worried about Asuka too much because you can find something for her to do, even if you have to bring in a heater to kind of work with her. Maybe Alexa Bliss isn't ready, or Carmella isn't ready, or God forbid they try to do an Eva Marie Asuka feud. How far can you really take that? Honestly,
here's the thing. I think if Bayley does go down, I think Eva Marie is the perfect person to come in and kind of fill her spot.
As a face.
And you could do it, as the heel. And then, just Asuka will be the face, chasing her, Eva Marie the heel. And, or you could build, she doesn't beat her clean, has Nia Jax help her or something like that.
Right. I will say this, if they wanted to kind of test the waters as far as an Eva Marie heel turn...
my idea I have ahead in my head for this kind of feud I was going with is Triple H Batista just with Eva Marie and Nia Jax, where Batista was Triple H's heavy for a while, and then you know what I'm saying.
Oh my God, dude! How much heat?
The pop that Nia Jax would get when she turns on Eva Marie or something like that to beat her or to just like power bomb her or something like that would be immense.
Oh yeah,
dude, you talk about heat. How much heat would that woman bring if she wins the NXT title and then brings the butterfly belt to NXT?
Oh God!
They would burn that fucking arena to the ground.
Oh my God!
God, we are booking seriously. This I would watch this.
I would
This
too.
we just booked a good Eva Marie storyline.
Holy shit!
Oh my God!
You know
like
what?
it
True
has.
story, bro.
Because I'm going to the NXT show in Spokane with my buddy Ty, and
Awesome.
I just want to be in the building when Eva Marie shows up. I just want to be a part of that heat. Because she doesn't have to try and she gets heat. It's unbelievable. She is...
You know it's good, or she's getting a good reaction when your skin, like you get the goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like you could feel it instantly.
Like, it's like, oh yeah, people genuinely hate this woman. Just the idea of her winning the title, and then she just pulls out the fucking butterfly belt.
Yeah, exactly. You can build Asuka for the next couple months, and then at Takeover Brooklyn, Eva Marie versus Asuka. Nia Jax interferes.
And here's the thing, and a lot of people aren't realizing this. If you want Eva Marie to be a face, this is how you do it. Because Eva Marie is in a weird predicament where people want to hate her so much that given enough time, it's going to loop around on itself like with the New Day. People are going to go out to NXT shows because they want to boo Eva Marie to the point to where she's going to turn face. I guarantee you, if they play her as a heel and really have fun with it and just egg people on more and more, eventually you are going to win the respect of the wrestling fans and they're going to cheer for her. It's kind of like she's going to end up being like the Tommy Wiseau of NXT. Like people
I don't think they're quite sold on what they want for Eva Marie. I didn't hit her.
I did not.
I don't know what you... I'm so fed up with this world.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Okay, we'll have a Tommy Wiseau podcast eventually, but I'm not quite sure WWE knows what they want to do with Eva Marie. I think they know they have something, a valuable commodity, or at least by their standards, a valuable commodity.
Right, and she's one of the last remnants of that era of we're just going to pull a hot woman out of a catalog and teach her how to wrestle. I think they want to try. They want so bad for her to be a success story.
Well, no, I also not even just pulled her out of a catalog. I think Eva Marie herself physically is what WWE would want a female professional wrestler to look like physically. And, if she could just, wrestle like Paige, Charlotte, Sasha,
Bayley,
Becky. If she could wrestle like Cameron, they'd be happy.
Well, look, I think I would put Cameron on Eva Marie's level. That level isn't that far away. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to Bayley, that would be unfortunate, but at the same time, though, you got to think this was going to eventually happen because she's like Daniel Bryan. She goes out there and wrestles a 4 to 5 star.
She's a workhorse
out there.
She's a workhorse,
and now because all the Sasha and they've all been called up, it really isn't. She's one of the ones. She's now going to carry that brand. She's been and she's earned that spot.
I think she's more valuable, to be honest, in the role she's being used in now in NXT as sort of like Corey Graves said, the standard bearer, than she would be if she just got, thrust into the main roster during that last summer's quote unquote revolution.
Yeah.
She just kind of lost in the kerfuffle.
Here's another question, because I mentioned this a couple weeks back when I mentioned the idea of maybe bringing Paige down to NXT, because really they have no direction for her. They're just she's on the roster in the background. It seems like the big feud that they're doing right now is Natty and Charlotte. Mm-hmm. So if Bayley's going to be out, why not bring somebody like Paige down just to work a feud with Asuka just for a couple tapings, at least to kind of give the fans something to chew on. I mean, Paige is going to instantly get a face pop because she was the face of that division.
Yep.
So why not do it for a couple while? Like, see how long it's going to take for Bayley to heal, and then just in the meantime,
and then if you want to throw Paige down there and she can work some tapings. I would love to see an Asuka Paige match.
Yeah, I think they could tear their house down. I think with Paige. Here's the thing. I think Paige is a great worker, but you can tell on the main roster she's kind of working the WWE style. Going back to NXT, I think it would do for her like what it did with Cesaro, or God, who was another one that they brought down? Tyson Kidd. Yeah, I think Paige could really use that rejuvenation period.
Mm-hmm. I think Tyson Kidd was at the stage in his career where he was, able to mentor people. And I mean, yeah, Paige has, years under her belt by virtue of her last name.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I don't know. I think there are better ways to help the women down in NXT other than bringing somebody that would eclipse them and overshadow. Because if they bring Paige to NXT, the story is, oh my God, Paige is in NXT. She's being sent down. She must have heat with the company. Da 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 yada yada yada. I think better off to elevate the girls they have down there already than to bring somebody down there, because there's a ton of talent down there. Peyton Royce. They brought in Deonna Purrazzo, who is a really good Athena, with the one broad that was on, sorry I defer to Miss Broads, but whatever, that was on Breaking Ground, Noof. I like her just because her main name was Noof. Aaliyah.
Here's the thing though, who on that roster can they put in to fill that slot for that slot that Bayley put in? Because Bayley, you mentioned, was the face of NXT.
Asuka, I think Asuka can fill in temporarily.
Well, right. No, I understand that.
But, Asuka's not going to be able to do.
But here's the thing:
stuff that Bayley was able to do.
Here's the thing, though.
I think Asuka can be.
At the moment, Asuka really is building herself up as a champion. Like she's a star, but she's not a champion. She just won the belt.
Right.
They need to build her as a champion. And I think putting somebody like Paige, who is an established star, would allow her
Former
to do
NXT
that.
Women's champion. Yep.
While on the undercard, you have the faces that you can make into contenders, that you can make into stars. Because like I said, going back, there's no one on the NXT roster that, as far as a face is concerned, or even a heel at that point.
I think there is, because I think there is one person that could step up. There is a face and a heel that could step up. Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
And Carmella.
Yep. There we go. See,
I think those are two. I think those are the two next. It's you take the people that are down there. You reward the people that you already have down there. It's their shot to lose, and if they lose it, okay, then you look to bring somebody else in. That's not already there. You look to the outside. You look to a Nia Jax, who hasn't had her shot just quite yet, really, or at least a real look at just quite yet.
And I'm a big fan of Nia Jax, and
I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yes, and at some point that Nia and Eva pairing is going to have to split up.
Yeah, and I think that's a great, again, and then, like, I'm just picturing her, like, Batista giving the thumbs down.
Yeah, and then just dropping the bitch like a bad habit.
Yeah.
I follow Nia Jax on Snapchat, for one, and she's actually pretty funny.
I mean, she's a relative of The Rock.
Yes.
It's in the blood. It's in the blood.
Exactly. So, I mean, they've got the talent down there. You have Carmella and Alexa Bliss are definitely the two that Alexa has really carved her own niche as this just heel character, and it's working. And then you have Carmella, who originally
I'll talk about the Carmella, Alexa Bliss as the heel. I always talk all the best heel work comes from the face, and that meme that we shared or like that in the group the other week about putting it in her butt or whatever.
Oh yes, when he keeps
that face
right
that
there
she gives,
yes,
that's like perfect heel face like that. Like, and then again, Alexa Bliss is like, I go pound for pound, the most beautiful woman on the face of the earth, because it's just never has so much beauty been crammed into such a small package before.
Mm-hmm. Right, and you just brought up Emma, and we talk, going back to what I mentioned about rejuvenation. Look what going back to NXT did for her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's having kind of a career renaissance of sorts because of her time in NXT to kind of revive her character.
Well, I think it was the heel turn. I think it was really the heel turn.
Because remember, she was that very bubbly kind of baby face dancer,
goofy. She was ditzy. That's what I called her.
Yeah,
Emma was
and
ditzy.
then she gets paired up with the Dana Brooke. She turns heel, and it was off to the races.
Right. That's like I said. I'm not saying Paige needs to stay, a full 6 months or anything like that, but. Like I said, in the meantime, if you want to build up Asuka as somebody that can carry that division, I think if I had to pick one person to kind of do the honors for her, have it be Paige. Have her work as a face and see maybe it works again and they bring her back as a face, because right now she's kind of nothing. Like, is she a face? Is she a heel? I don't know. I just think, to me, it makes too much sense to not capitalize on it, given Bayley, not being in that slot anymore. But like I said, it's just me.
It is just you, because I absolutely don't agree with you. I think
okay.
She could be in that sort of nebulous stage, because she's still working house shows. Just because she's not on TV doesn't mean she's not sitting here. She's not being Zack Rydered,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she's still young yet. We still got, there's 3 other people that they're trying to establish in the division. Let them, her time is come yet to shine, and then come back around again. So.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yep.
Payback.
There was
or nah.
You want to? Looks like the rumors came up again about WWE talking about War Games. So.
Oh, buddy, this has been something I've been wishing and hoping for years.
Yeah,
it's
years like now. These rumors have popped up again. So again, it's really what they are right now, rumors. But apparently, there are discussions in place to do it. At SummerSlam or Survivor Series.
I don't think you can do it Survivor Series. You can do it SummerSlam. It would be weird seeing 2 rings again, side by side.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I think what they're gonna do is they'll probably fudge it some way. They'll do the WWE approved version of War Games, which
it's like the WWE approved version of War Games would be a Hell in a Cell match with teams. It would be Hell in a Cell match or Elimination Chamber with teams.
Have they ever had a team-based Hell in a Cell match?
Outside of because there's been a few team matches. There was a DX versus Rhodes and DiBiase.
Okay.
And then there was also DX versus the McMahons and Big Show when Vince became the billionaire butt plug.
Uh-huh. I remember that.
Yeah.
That DX, first of all, that DX run just proves to you how great of a talent Shawn Michaels was.
Yeah. And I know people hate because it wasn't like DX evolved. Well, it didn't need to be. It was still just as hilarious, just as ridiculous, and
I would say even if not funnier, because
above and beyond too. Come on, you got DX on the side of the fucking tower.
Look, Mr. Fuji, where?
Okay.
That was always my favorite. Anyway.
Anyway.
I just kicked Stan.
Still one of the best fucking...
okay. Good times.
Yeah, anyway, Payback?
Tangent.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, Payback.
I don't have a card in front of me, so I'm
get a card. Pulling it up now, yes. We are...
I can only remember a few matches.
Wait. Hold on, wait a minute, before we move on. Okay, so we talked about Bayley. We talked about ROH. Did we mention Eric Young? Did we mention EY?
We did. We kind of briefly mentioned it. We kind of used that as the segue to talk about TNA and ROH. How it's just yet a further crack in the system.
Payback.
It was a bit of we didn't go into depth how it was like a face-to-face showdown with Samoa Joe.
Yeah, it's
I don't see it. I'm sorry.
It's a big story because it's yet another defection from Impact Wrestling to NXT, but you will see where it ends up. He's just going to be another guy. I don't think Eric Young is. I said the same thing about Samoa Joe, and I was wrong though. But I there's Samoa Joe, who is pedigree of Samoa Joe, and then there's Eric Young, who has the pedigree of
being TNA's Eric Daniel Young. Bryan, basically.
Basically, yes. I'm not gonna say, poo-poo on him. He's not worth shit, but
he's kind of like in that same area as James Storm. When James Storm popped in, it was cool, but I had no intention of ever seeing James Storm on the main roster.
The thing is, they have they have one shot, and if they blow it, they blow it. They're never going to have another shot again. I think that was James Storm's shot. It's the same thing with Bobby Roode too. Bobby Roode better make an impression.
What the James Storm thing is, I think the door's open for him to come back, but he took more money. Bottom line,
right?
Yeah. And I cannot fault the guy for that.
But it's TNA money though. It's monopoly money. Like, I don't understand that. Like, sure, they can promise to pay you $4 million. It'll be that promise will be just as valuable as if they offered to pay you like a $50,000 a year contract. It's like, it's TNA. They can promise whatever they want. They don't fucking have any money.
Very true. Very true. So right. Impact, Payback.
Yeah.
Payback. Yeah, they're in Rosemont. Yeah, Allstate Arena. Yeah, so this is
the world famous Rosemont Horizon, jam-packed Chicago crowd.
I think the last arena to host a WrestleMania before they went all stadiums.
I believe so. That would have been 23, I think. Yeah.
No, 22. Yes. 23 was in Detroit.
Right.
Ford Field. 22 was in Chicago with.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'll be...
Yeah. It is definitely one of the wrestling meccas of this country. If you are a wrestling fan and you have not been to a show at the Rosemont Horizon, you gotta go. It's a truly awe-inspiring experience, awestruck. The sound travels, and there's not a bad seat in the building. The wooden ceilings really make it have good acoustics. I'm not really speaking that well, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's an experience, and Chicago, there's very few crowds like a Chicago crowd.
Yep. All right, let's start from the pre-show. Kalisto Ryback for the U.S. title. Oh, why?
Fuck you, Ryback, for talking shit about WWE. That's what you get. You do another pre-show match.
Yep, your pre-show Ryback. It's like every time it seems to be like you're going to get a Ryback momentum. There seems to be something happening to defer that, and I don't think this is going to be any different. I think Kalisto wins.
Yep, yeah. Kalisto.
And fucking Ryback, I still feel like he's one of those guys that WWE wants to put into the main event.
So they want him to be not even just a main event. They want him to be a success in any way. Get contiguous heat. Get a pop and sell merchandise. Just live into all the potential that they've probably invested him over the while. Because you got to think he was in early developmental. He was with.
Well, no, go back even further. He was on that season of Tough Enough. That was the $1 million one on SmackDown.
Yeah, I was going to say he was on the $1 million Tough Enough.
Yeah. I mean, he just seems like one of those guys that WWE in the mid-2000s would have given a huge push to, but I don't know. It's just I don't hate Ryback. I like Ryback. I think the guy, when he shows some personality, is funny, but.
Yep.
He's just a flavorless hoss, basically. Like, he's a big dude that's just...
I admit there is, Big E, a certain latent charisma about him that they just haven't figured out proper way to draw out. Because, again, if you watch the table for three with him, Ziggler, and Bryan,
yep,
it is fucking hilarious. I mean, yeah, they're, basically ribbing him most of the time. Like, Daniel Bryan goes into him for believing in ghosts and being a bully, and it's funny. He refers to him as the Ryback.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what you do with a guy like Ryback that hasn't already been done. I mean, they put him with Paul Heyman. That's
that didn't work.
Biggest make or break thing that you could possibly do. I mean, I don't think putting him with Kane would work, because that's usually what you do with guys. You know, when they need some personality, you put him with Kane.
Kane, that's what you would call that tag team.
Yeah. I mean, maybe put him with... here's one. Put him with a diva. Like, no, or a woman, sorry. Find somebody on the roster you're not doing anything with.
You said the D word.
Yeah, I know. I'll put some money in the jar.
You should have like the Pee Wee Herman thing, like ever say the magic word, diva!
I'm sorry, you know, they've beaten me into submission. It's become
It's gonna take a
at
while.
This point.
Exactly, it's gonna take a while.
But yeah, my point is
belts.
My point is at this point with Ryback, the only thing I could think of is if you pair him off with one of the women on the roster, like an Emma, for instance, or a Summer Rae or something like that, although they pair everybody with Summer Rae.
That'd be just the weirdest combination ever. That's like so weird. It's too weird to see Ryback with a woman. Like you gotta hope that he can get over on his own. You can't put a woman with him unless it's Eva Marie.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, you just gotta fish or cut bait with Ryback, which is unfortunate because WWE really doesn't fire people at this point. How else do you explain Jack Swagger still being on the roster? But, I mean, the guy's impressive enough that you should do something, but not impressive enough that you kind of want to.
Yeah, I agree. They gotta shit her good off the pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
All right, yeah, so pretty much in agreement with Kalisto, obviously.
Yep. Kalisto's probably going to retain that title.
Yeah, there's no reason to take the title off of him. Ziggler Corbin.
This one's weird because they really, you know, logic would dictate that Baron Corbin would win because there's nothing to lose from Baron Corbin. There's nothing to lose from Dolph Ziggler losing this match, but at the same time, WWE does like to do that once in a while where they'll be like, you know, oh, you want this guy to win this match? Well, fuck you. Like, they did that with Jericho. They did that recently with the whole Jericho AJ thing at WrestleMania, you know? So, I mean, could Ziggler win? It's about as likely as Baron Corbin wins, so I don't know where to go with this.
I'm picking Corbin. I'm calling you. Gotta leave. You gotta make Corbin look real good. He's gotta look strong. Ziggler can do that. You know, Ziggler's gonna bump like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I agree that too. This is a 6-5 and pick 'em match. Like they could really go either way on this one, but because I am bound by podcasting law to pick a winner, I'm gonna go with Big Banter on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. You know, if you guys are both going with Baron Corbin, I think just to even out the universe, I'm going to go with Dolph Ziggler. I think they'll probably give him one just to continue the feud, but it's not going to really mean anything long term, and it's not going to hurt either guy.
Well, no, this is to introduce Baron Corbin to the portion of the WWE universe that doesn't watch NXT.
Yeah, and has not seen him, you know, tear through everybody and anybody on NXT.
They weren't a part of the Goldberg Corbin. So
where they were counting the seconds during his matches. Yep.
Yeah, and he was undefeated. So that is what's happening here.
I do find it interesting that given Baron Corbin's gimmick of going after indie guys, he's going after Dolph Ziggler.
Who's not an indie guy.
He's not an indie guy, but he is an internet darling. Dolph Ziggler is much beloved and maligned at times, too, by the internet wrestling community.
Like, I guess maybe you can... It's funny, you could have had him with Damien Sandow. I mean, Sandow's technically an indie guy. You know, he was on
the Lord of Logic, the Lord of Literacy, and against Big Banter this week on SmackDown was a pretty good match, I heard.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't watch it. There was already... Anyway, we'll get to it later. Let's see here.
Next match.
Enzo and Cass against the Vaudevillains.
Oh, boy. This match right here could be your match of the night.
Yeah.
Or match of the night, or a match that's going to steal the show. That's going to, like, a lot of people are going to be talking about this match more than anything. Mm-hmm. I hope we get more promos, because the promo on Raw this week with Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillains was great.
Yep.
Just priceless. So I want more of that. But as far as the match goes,
I'm going Big Cass and Enzo. I
do too.
Bada boom, realest guys in the room, man. It's my pick.
I think they hit on something huge with these guys. I'm happy that they made it. I'm happy that they are that damn talented that they've been able to rise above like everything. I think you got to strike while the iron's hot.
Exactly, and it's the one thing we said that the only thing that would prevent them from getting over is if nobody didn't buy the shtick in like Kansas or any place that's not the East Coast.
Biloxi or something.
I think these guys are going to be over everywhere, at least for the next year. Like no matter where they go, anytime they go and it's their first time going there, I think people are going to be chanting. It's when they go back the second and third time, are they going to have the same reaction?
To this day, I still don't understand why they kept Carmella in NXT. Like that gimmick was getting over with them.
I think her work wasn't quite done here yet, and then I think they want to see
they need
if
women
she can
down
survive.
there. They need.
No, they want to see also if she could survive and perform just as well when she doesn't have those two around her.
Fair enough, I guess. I miss the old days of like the tag team with the valet type stuff, dating back to like Team Extreme, TNA, the Test and Albert, for you younger fans out there.
Sensational Sherry.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I popped when they had London and Kendrick with Ashley Massaro. Like, I actually popped when that team was around for a little while.
Yeah.
The gimmick of the tag team with the hot valet works for me. Like, I like that
Deuce, gimmick. Domino, and Cherry, too. That was another one.
Cherry.
Hey!
I mean, the gimmick sucked, but I like Cherry. Cherry was nice.
I enjoyed the gimmick. It was kind of a cool, like, 50s greaser type. I enjoyed it. It wasn't... It had no longevity, fuck no, but I enjoyed it while I was around.
I love Cliff Compton.
Mr. 18 fucking 59, man.
That's all. I love Cliff Compton. Time to fucking die.
Yes. All right, so we're in, pretty much all agreement. Enzo and Cass.
Enzo and Cass. We hope. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Vaudevillains do it because the Vaudevillains are a heel team. New Day are face right now.
Right.
6-5 in Pick'em. I think this is another 6-5 in Pick'em, but I'm going to go with my heart and say Enzo and Cass.
I'm going to bounce around because we've got more title match. I'm just going up the card here. So we'll go Ambrose Jericho.
Ambrose and Jericho. It could be another match. It could be match of the night, just with the parties involved. We got a really good, very, very good, simple build-up for this, but it's I think it just speaks to, again, how great of a mic performer Jericho is and how much charisma Dean Ambrose has and how hot his character is right now. That they didn't really have to do a whole lot. What was it? Just Ambrose stole Jericho's talk show.
The Highland became the Ambrose Asylum, yes.
We have no more obscenely expensive Geritron 5000.
I love that.
It's weird. Like, I feel like I should care more about this match, but Jericho...
Well, I think Dean Ambrose is in a holding pattern right now.
Right.
In his,
Chris Jericho is kind of in one of those... He's in that period of his career where I have neither strong feelings about Jericho either way. Like, I don't hate Jericho.
He's a utility player. He's somebody you plug in and he will get a match out of anybody. I think if they wanted to put Roman Reigns against Jericho right now,
they could do it.
The creative would be fantastic.
Yeah,
I think I was actually surprised coming out of WrestleMania. I thought that was the direction they were going. Jericho versus
Reigns. And I think he is physically, at 45 right now. I think he's physically good enough still where they could put Reigns and Jericho together.
Right. He's in that Shawn Michaels role at the moment.
Exactly.
Yep.
This
is the way I see it. I'm going to enjoy every Jericho match because the day when he finally does decide to hang him up and,
I'm going to say, I've been, as long as I've been watching his career since, 1997, 1998, I've been a fan, and I will be legitimately disappointed when it doesn't. So exactly like you, I'm appreciating every match I could get.
Yeah, it was like, because I was grateful I got to see that whole back half of Shawn Michaels' career.
Exactly.
So and we have a guy that's this damn good.
Yeah, you appreciate it. You have two guys, I think, that are that damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, the matchup isn't bad. It's just both guys.
How much time are they going to have? That's what I'm going to say. I think you have to give these guys at least 20 minutes. I think to have the match I think they deserve. If they have anything less than 15, then it's going to start cutting into that. And if they have 10 or less, then well, it's definitely going to disappoint people.
Yeah.
I think this match needs to be more psychology than anything else. I think with the AJ Styles Jericho matches, while they were good, I think a lot of people went into them expecting a little bit more because of the fact
they're expecting more spots, but
right. That's not Ambrose's bag. I mean, he's a good wrestler, but he's about psychology. And Jericho, my God, has amazing psychology. I think that's where people need to go at this matchup with, and if they go into it with that mindset, I think this could steal the show. I think you guys think Kaz and Enzo and the Vaudevillains are going to steal it. I can see this one stealing the show.
There's a few on here that can definitely steal the show, and let's get into another our picks. I'm picking Ambrose. I'd say Ambrose goes over. You definitely need to keep him hot,
especially after WrestleMania.
Yes, he needs the win.
And I
don't know what they're going to be doing with him going into SummerSlam. If he gets
I'm telling you, Dean Ambrose for Money in the Bank.
Oh, there's a couple guys on this card that they're potential Money in the Bank.
We're gonna have to start talking Money in the Bank soon too, because that is June,
right around the corner. Yeah,
it's right around the corner. Coming up very soon.
Yep, already. Fuck.
I know, man.
How about we get to, because there's gonna be some discussion around this one. Charlotte and Natty women's title.
What do you mean there's going to be discussion around this one? People really think Natalya is going to...
Well, no, in that there is a little thing that happened on SmackDown that...
Flair told her to go kill herself, yeah. Flair may or may not have been Nation before he comes out, so,
It's just like, I watched the video of it, and you see Charlotte kind of start to frown. You got Ambrose laughing his ass off. And then you got, Ned, like, okay, calm down. Like, you're at a 10. Got to come down to a 2 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Flair said you should go jump off the top of the ceiling like your uncle did or something. Like,
it was,
like, it could have been fucking way worse.
Yeah.
But it's not good, what he said.
I give Natty credit for being professional enough to just kind of brush it off.
I think is what she was. I think it's a show.
Yeah.
Ric Flair obviously doesn't really want her to kill herself.
Oh, no.
Right. Because if it would have been me, I'd have dropped a Reed reference right after that and really just been like, all right, motherfucker, you wanna go off script? All right, let's do it.
I don't know if can you really script Ric Flair at this point in time? Like,
no, you know what? Ric Flair got in. He was Nation. Bottom line, he was fucking Nation.
Hey, I'm trying to do my Jay Lethal doing Ric Flair impersonation. Hey, man, I'm not gonna come out there and say anything too bad. I don't need any script or anything, man. It's really bad. I sound more stoned than anything.
You're kind of in the middle between like Jay Lethal now and his Ric Flair impersonation. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's that's where it was. I was trying to go for Jay Lethal doing Ric Flair.
Not nasally enough.
I know. I was trying to lay back and it's whatever. I've been told earlier this week I do a goddamn good Howard Finkel.
Nice.
Do a good one. So, yeah, I think Ambrose is going to win this match.
Ambrose is going to win the women's title?
Sorry, what? I think Charlotte is going to win.
Charlotte, yeah, this is, a pretty obvious pick.
Yes, I think Ambrose is going to win.
That would be entertaining. I would be totally fine with him winning the women's title.
I mean, let's see. I think Dean Ambrose could absolutely get away with it.
Yeah.
There could be anybody that could make that particular thing creative. Like Dean Ambrose all of a sudden just goes full Andy Kaufman on people.
Yeah.
No, but that would be ripping off. God, what's his name? I'm blanking out. Oh, Dong Style. What the fuck is his name?
Joey Ryan.
Joey
Yes,
Ryan.
they'll be ripping off Joey Ryan.
Well, the intergender thing has been around for a while, but yeah. So yeah, I think Charlotte obviously continues her reign on.
There's
on top
a
of the women's
build
division.
here, and I still say the end game. It's going to be Sasha taking that title at SummerSlam.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate because I love Natty so much. Like,
she definitely deserves like her a run, but I just think right now Charlotte's momentum is, Charlotte is right now the face of that division, both publicly and on television. So,
right.
It just makes sense to continue having her at the title. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I saw today on Instagram she posted pictures of her working out, and she has her own like branded like workout pants, like leggings with WWE Women's title on it. Like, people don't have those things made if they're dropping the title on the weekend. That's all I'm saying.
But, at least we could say this. Natty is just, God, she is just getting fuckable and fuckable every single week. Like, she is just...
Whatever she's doing.
Yeah, but I feel so bad for her if you watch Total Divas and you see how much of a just cold fish that Tyson Kidd is. Like, you could tell she's not getting any of that.
Oh, well, I mean, who knows, man? Maybe he just doesn't like doing it for the cameras. Like, he's... And also, you got to think that they've probably been together their entire lives.
Yeah.
That's probably the only people that they've ever... mutually, they're probably the only people they've ever slept with.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just come a point where that no longer becomes necessary relationship, or that no longer becomes the be-end-all driving. You do lose some of that over time. But yeah, no, I think Natalya is doing just fine for herself in this division. She's, now carved herself out as the elder stateswoman.
Yep.
I wish she would get a title shot and a title reign. I think she deserves it, but it's not now. If they have, again, I wish they would have the women's championship scramble match. Could you imagine that now? That would be, there's just so many women, the division is so large now.
True, but how many times have they really done the scramble? I feel like that was just like one of those gimmick matches that they just needed to fill a pay-per-view. Like, I don't remember it being...
I think it's been away long enough. You could reintroduce it, and there's enough people there it will come off as a fresh concept.
Fair enough. I mean, you could probably get a decent one. I mean, I think the psychology of, there being a situation where Eva Marie can walk away with the women's title.
Exactly. That's the way to do it.
All right.
On to the next one. Yes.
Come on, Zane Owens.
Yeah, this match, by the way, if you haven't watched the video package that they released on Raw for this match,
yep,
some of WWE's best work. It's a shame that this is only what's probably likely be an early to mid-card match on the pay-per-view, because if this match had a title going for it, I think the emotion would be even higher. Not saying that we...
Go ahead. I was going to ask, do you think they blew their load at WrestleMania by incorporating the Zayn Owens feud into the 7-man Intercontinental match?
No, because I think there's just something about the two performers, in the storyline with them competing against each other, that you're never going to get it. Again, this may be like WWE's version of Batman and the Joker.
The never-ending story.
It's the never-ending feud.
Right, but at the same time, so much of their feud is predicated on their history outside of WWE. It's almost a hipster feud of sorts. You kind of need to know the unknown background to really get the most out of the feud is.
It's not that difficult of a story to tell. You just tell them, yeah, we've been friends for a while. Show pictures of them coming up. Show, pictures of them wrestling in ROH. Video of them wrestling each other in Ring of Honor. And then now. Mm-hmm. Them being at the Performance Center together. And then the video. Again, it'll like exactly the video package that they showed at Raw this week.
And it was a badass video package.
For real.
Yes.
Yeah, it brought the feels. Not like, emotional feels, but I was like, I got juiced for this match,
Yep.
And by the way, let's talk about somebody who continues to kill it both in the ring, on the mic, on the social media, and just as a character in general. Kevin fucking Owens. I want a Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens tag team. If they ever run out of something for any of those two guys to do and they're just not doing anything, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, New Day for the tag team titles. There you go.
Team Twitter block.
Oh my God.
Team Twitter block.
The social media wars that you get with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
But yeah, as far as the actual match is concerned, I'm gonna go. I feel like they're gonna go the old school route of having Owens constantly win until finally giving Zayn the big win. So I'm gonna go Owens on this one.
I'm going the complete opposite. I think this match, Zayn will win. Owens will stick out the hand of like, all right, yeah, you beat me. Let's be friends again. Da 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 da. And then Owens like
kicks him in the nuts.
Yeah, or powerbomb or something like that. That's the way it keeps on going. But yeah, I do believe that these two are destined to do this forever. And this is only just chapter 1 or part of chapter 1. Not the last. This isn't the finale, that's for sure.
Okay, so we got one Zayn. You know what? I kind of see them pulling some kind of, no contest, like double DQ, whatever it may be.
Yeah, okay. A schmoz, if you will.
A schmoz, yes.
Right. I could see that. I can see it devolving into just these two just beating the fuck out of each other. I guess this could be what leads to whatever gimmick match they're going to have, because this is going to go to some type of a no-holds-barred or a cage or some sort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you have to have this feud mean something, so, do this match here, and then maybe don't have them directly work each other, then have them do something, obviously two of them be in Money in the Bank.
Yep.
Another ladder match, you could do that in there, and then maybe, perfect world, Kevin Owens wins the world title.
Oh yeah, that's definitely my book.
Crazy.
The idea of Kevin Owens winning Money in the Bank. Oh God. Yes. Fucking please do it.
Could you imagine? Again, can you imagine both when the reaction if Kevin Owens would win Money in the Bank, and then the reaction when he actually goes to cash it in?
Mm-hmm.
Blow the roof off buildings.
Yes.
That's why I'm not like sleeping on Kevin Owens. I just think Sami Zayn wins this match, but Kevin Owens gets the last laugh to keep it going.
All right. I'm sticking with my schmoz then. Intercontinental title?
Yes. Who's Miz?
Miz and Cesaro.
Oh man.
Secret Agent Cesaro.
Secret Agent Man Cesaro and versus Miz and Maurice. I think Maurice will have her role to play in this, and I think that's ultimately what will cost Cesaro. I think the Miz wins.
Yep, Miz.
The Miz is, again, like I said earlier, like Donald Trump. Successful, hot wife, bad clothing.
Better hair.
Better hair.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, better hair, yes, but the Miz is essentially wrestling's Donald Trump.
They just brought back Maurice to be a part of the next season of Total Divas, so I think the Miz is going to be riding a huge wave of success till then. So, Miz.
I completely like this decision to bring back Maurice. I think that's something that doesn't take a whole lot of, acting. They are two people that love each other dearly. They are married. So,
Yep.
And people don't like people with good-looking wives.
They also just don't like Miz.
They don't like The Miz, so it gives them another reason not to like The Miz.
Yeah.
Right, but the Miz is kind of like, he's like a weird flavorless heel where, yeah, I'm supposed to hate him, but I can't muster enough to give a shit to really hate the guy. I think at least with Maurice, there's something
There are people, though, that feel the complete opposite, though, that, believe he is the absolute worst thing to happen to professional wrestling. I don't believe that, but...
He may have been 5 years ago, but at this point, he's just kind of been he's
we
like
have to deal with him
at this point, yeah.
Exactly. We just have to deal with him. He's there.
Yeah.
We're too lazy. He's wallpaper that you're too lazy to paint over.
Right.
Yes.
Now, and you know what?
Just try and dress it up nice with fancy pictures.
I'll say this as far as Maurice, at least they've established that she's there just to be arm candy. Like, I don't expect her to get back into the ring anytime soon.
I know, even if she were to get back in the ring, she'd probably just get tired again 5 minutes later. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think they need her in that regard anymore.
Yeah.
So Miz wins. LOL.
Yep, Miz. And now the main event.
Yes, and we talked about it earlier. The two good brothers I was mentioning, Anderson and Gallows, made their debut, and it was basically everything I thought it was going to be. Yep. Carl Anderson. For those of you who haven't watched him over the last 8 years in New Japan, that's what you're going to get out of him. A very technical, smash-based, smash-mouth kind of style. A lot of striking, a lot of slamming. I think people will be pleasantly surprised. He can do a little bit of everything, except maybe flying. But
yeah.
They've found a way, though, to, sort of recreate this Bullet Club. Will it happen? Won't it happen? Storyline that's going to consume a lot of people. Everybody, I think, is thinking the opposite's going to happen, and they're going to join Roman Reigns. I'm going to go complete left field. They screw AJ Styles, but don't join Roman Reigns, and the feud going forward is going to be AJ Styles versus Gallows and Anderson.
I hope not. I really do. I'm a sucker for a good faction.
Me too. Me too. I want Bullet Club to reform in WWE with the WWE.
Not even like either it's the Roman Empire or the Bullet Club. I don't care. I just don't want them to go the traditional WWE route of let's take the two big baby faces that are feuding and put them as a tag team against this new, heel tag team, which I feel like that's what's going to happen is they're going to be like, well, we don't want to ruin either guy, so let's have them be a makeshift tag team and go up against these two, guys that we just brought up. Because there is the Balor factor, Finn Balor.
Well, Famous Hoot does play with the fans a lot, and, after he lost the title to Samoa Joe last Thursday, did say, I'll see you guys on Monday, and, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right.
Always do the opposite of what Finn says.
Exactly. Famous Hoot will try and put one over on the fans anytime he wants, which seems to be a lot. So he no longer is a credible source of information at this point. I think the pairing Roman Reigns with Anderson and Gallows is too obvious. So I think they attack AJ and Roman, but they don't form together, and it just kind of becomes its own thing. Roman Reigns will find some new opponent to face.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Owens, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of side with that. They're just gonna beat the shit out of both guys, and
I think this match finishes a no contest.
And just on a big question mark, what the fuck is going on?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess if I had to pick a winner, I'll probably say Reigns is going to win, and then the good boys come out and beat them up, and you think they're going to go with AJ, but then they beat him up, and then I really don't want it to go the route that I mentioned where they pair Styles and Reigns together, but like I said, it's classic WWE booking, so why fix what isn't broken, I guess? So I guess I'll go that route then, but Reigns to win.
Yeah, Roman Reigns is still going to be your WWE champion.
Yes. I mean, in a perfect world, I would make AJ champion just to hear the sounds of Vince Russo and Kevin Dunn's heads exploding. But,
and again, that would get a deafening reaction in Chicago.
God. The roof would blow right off that fucking building. But I think they have their long-term plan set for Roman. You know, you still need to turn him heel.
I think I said that maybe I'm becoming that thought either, but now I'm, coming back to my original thought. I don't think you need to turn Roman Reigns heels because the WWE is a global product. Yes, fans in America might not like Roman Reigns, but WWE ships their product worldwide. There may be fans there. I'm assuming. I'm not assuming. I know for a fact, probably there are Roman Reigns fans in other countries that
but there at the same time you can also say that there are people who are not fans of Roman Reigns. I think no matter what, when it comes to WWE, no matter what product they bring overseas, it's always going to get a positive reaction. It's going to get the reaction they want because they're starved for wrestling. It goes back to the days of WCW where even at their worst they would do an international tour and sell out the house. Shit, TNA does that. Mm-hmm. They sell out the UK, whatever. So you can't really gauge the international fans because they're always going to fall in step because they're playing along. It's like playing along with a magician.
Right.
But yeah, at this point, I don't really care as far as turning Roman Reigns heel for the same reason I don't care about Cena turning heel is it's not going to change anything. I don't have faith that WWE will know what to do with it creatively. So it's like, just let them do what they're doing. This is what they want. It is what it is.
Yeah, Seth is going to be back here soon, so I'm thinking...
I mean, there are reports that he may even be back this weekend. Chicago, big crowd like that. Don't think he would want to come back. Come on now.
I know.
I would, if in a perfect world, if I were booking, I would bring Seth back to work with Reigns. I would have Seth win the title at some big event, and then I would have Kevin Owens cash in Money in the Bank.
Bingo.
And win that title.
Yeah, at SummerSlam, you have your big, comeback story. Seth Rollins comes back from injury, wins the title back, and then Kevin Owens, being the opportunistic son of a bitch he is, he has the Money in the Bank. Bing, bang, boom. Kevin Owens is your WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and Vince Russo loses his shit.
And here's the reason why is because I think there's so much more money in Seth Rollins as a babyface, but he has to go after Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns is the champ. He's the uncrowned. Seth Rollins
lost the
never lost the belt. So I do think you do need to play that angle for a little bit, but it can't stay. Seth Rollins cannot stay a heel. He has to be a babyface at some point.
Yes. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of guys coming back. I mean, it's going to be, we got a...
I was going to say, John Cena made a great dad joke about him coming back. So if I finally come back from this injury, does that mean I've done a heel turn, Heal? And to it, I replied to the Doctor of Thugonomics, #dad joke. It's total dad joke.
Oh, God.
John, that's what John said. Person that can make a joke like that.
John Cena is the dad joke.
He's like the bad joke king. It's like, he just makes bad... And like, when Roman Reigns makes bad jokes, it's because they're being fed to him. Cena just does it because that's his humor. He's like, screw it, I'm going to make a bad joke because that's what I fucking do.
Who else but Cena?
He's Cena. I can't even do it on Cena.
I think we may have found a potential episode title. Who else but Cena?
Bingo.
Oh, just because I'm lazy.
Yes. Let me I'm gonna send that as a message to you so I don't fucking forget it.
Who else but Cena?
Yes. All right. We've pretty much.
I'm struggling for an Iron Sheik tweet of the week. Not slim pickings this week, sirs.
Wow. So, even when John Cena is off the TV, he still manages to main event our podcast.
Yeah, man.
Fucking. Oh man. Anyway.
It's an early front runner. Who else but Cena is an early front runner right now? Unless I come up with something else for the next. That's the early front runner. Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Iron Sheik tweet of the week. Just.
I'll try and find something. Pause for the music.
I do have one idea of something we could do to kind of bow out the show, if you will. What? Do you remember what we were talking about early on, the joke theme that we had from last week? You know, combining two famous joke styles that you and I are fans of. Okay, I'll go into more depth. So me and Brandon are big Kevin Smith fans, and
yes.
Kevin Smith has his show called
Hollywood.
Oh
yeah. Okay, I forgot now.
Now, if you're a fan of Hollywood Babylon, you know that they have a recurring theme where they are obsessed with the size, length, and girth of Liam Neeson's penis. So if you're a fan of kayfabe commentaries, like I know me and Nick are, you know one of the running gags on kayfabe commentaries is for somebody to ask, how big is Dave Bautista's dick? So I have lovingly decided to combine these two themes into a little segment I'd like to call, How Big is Dave Bautista's Cock?
Yes!
And I have come up with a few. So if you don't mind,
I'll set you up.
Set up a few.
So I'll set you up. Well, you do it, and then
I will mute myself because I'm laughing too hard.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I've got a few, and these I didn't take off the Liam Neeson website, which for those of you who don't know is NeesonCock.com.
NeesonCock.com. I am going to buy the domain BatistaCock.com.
Yes, and I have come up with a few of my own that I have decided to make. So if you don't mind, here we go.
Please go away.
Okay. Dave Bautista's cock is so big, Hulk Hogan agreed to job to it.
You gotta do the thing, and then I'll say, how big is it?
Dave Bautista's dick is so big it is both the unstoppable force and the immovable object.
Just let me do the how big is it first.
Go ahead.
Okay. So you go, and then...
Alright. Dave Bautista's cock is so big.
How big is it?
It played Groot's stunt double in Guardians of the Galaxy.
See, that's how it should go.
Dave Bautista's cock is so big.
How big is it?
Shane McMahon tried to jump off of it.
I figure at very minimum you could at least pop me on these jokes.
Dave Bautista's dick is so big.
How big is it?
It was going to be the original fourth member of Evolution, but they passed because it looked too much like Mark Jandreau. Dave Bautista's dick is so big.
How big is it?
It makes sure John Cena doesn't kick out at 2.
God.
Okay, one more.
And finally, Dave Bautista's dick is so big.
How big is it?
It was originally going to be in Bobby Lashley's corner at WrestleMania 23, but WWE decided to go with the second biggest dick in the And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how big is Dave Bautista's dick.
Oh, the biggest segment ever. Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We can't help but wonder, how big is Dave Bautista's cock?
I am saving these, by the way. I'm going to keep adding to these. These are gold.
We're going to buy the domain name BatistaCock.com. Start the Tumblr, BatistaCock.tumblr.com. Oh my god. Fuck a duck. So, I think we may, on days I can't find an Iron Sheik tweet of the week, that's what we're going to do. Dave Bautista's cock is so big.
Oh man.
So, plus...
Miguel, you got nothing. Just I got
Lawn Boys Post 975 on YouTube, the home of Dave. If you want to see Dave Wade's videos, the Bristol Brawler himself, he's put up a few videos as of late, his most recent one being his playthrough of Dead or Alive 2 on the PS2. So go ahead and check that out, Lawn Boys Post 1975 on YouTube, the home of Dave.
Yay.
All right.
Nichols.
I'm over on YouTube at the Gaming Pegasus 187, Twitter, Gaming Pegasus 187, Facebook, Nick Horaceck, Wrestling/MMA Revolution Facebook group, posting all our wrestling ramblings, and our Raw thread every week. We'll have a Payback thread up.
Yes, we will.
Yes. Xbox Live, Instagram, Wii U, Pegasus 187. The Extreme Enigma on PSN. I just bought a fucking PS4, so.
One of us.
I was, believe me, early on I thought, Xbox One will, continue Microsoft's winning tradition. Now I'm thinking it's already too late. PS4 is already.
Yeah. So.
Won this one.
I finally, jumped on finally got a PS4,
Jumped on that bandwagon?
Yeah, mostly a Street Fighter V, which I didn't even pick up. I got a physical copy of Mega Man Legacy Collection. So
cool story, bro.
Yeah, I've got. I'll be at the NXT house show in Spokane, May 13th.
Enjoy that shit.
Oh, I will. Just to be in the arena when Eva Marie gets booed out of the building. Just to be there for Nakamura. That's the one reason I'm going. Shinsuke Nakamura, motherfuckers.
I did not get to go to the NXT show there, which we don't want to talk about.
All right, so.
On that note, I am Brandon Liggan. You could listen to me on the Nerd Chronicles Weekly on our SoundCloud. That's the Dumbbell Productions Podcast Network. I should know this. I came up with the phrase. That's on SoundCloud. Look us up. Nerd Chronicles, 3 Boys to Go and Dancing Bear. That's my other Facebook. That's my other Game of Thrones podcast that we're doing weekly during the season of Game of Thrones. Check that out on Facebook. 3 Boys to Go, Dancing Bear, a wrap-up podcast of Ice and Fire. All one word, but it will all come up. Trust me, we're the only one. Nerd Chronicles, like I said, check that out. Premier Pals, which is on temporary hiatus, which will be coming back before the end of the season. I am the human podcast machine, like I said. I think I should trademark that as well because Lord knows I'd have enough podcasts. So check them out. Go support independent wrestling. May 14th, if you're local to the New York, New Jersey area, in Wallington, New Jersey, American Championship Entertainments presents Aftermath. You can check out all these stars of American Championship Entertainment, including former WCW superstar Crowbar.
Nice.
I know. Well,
Well, hey, they're still finding work, man. They're still...
Exactly. There are people who remember Crowbar.
He's still big in that area, I know for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
We routinely book him over there at American Championship Entertainment, so we have a good time. $15 in advance, $20 out the door. Bell time is at 7 p.m. That is 627 Sip Street 627 Hathaway Street. The old building was Sip Street. God, getting nostalgic for the old days. 627 Hathaway Street in Wallington, New Jersey. Mike Morgan Jr. Arena. 7 p.m. aceprowrestling.com. Again, go support independent wrestling. It is where you can find such people like Crowbar and people like my friends trying to live their dreams in any capacity that they can. And it's a wholesome night of family entertainment. So wherever you are, no matter where you are, I guarantee you that there is independent wrestling taking place not far from you. Not that far from you. So take it upon yourself to support them in any capacity you can. Check out Payback this weekend. I guarantee you, I think it's going to be a lot better show than people think. I wanted to talk about the Conor McGregor and the UFC thing. That story is going to only get weirder and weirder and weirder. Mm-hmm. Who knows what's going to happen with UFC 200? I don't even know.
Well, no, they've already announced the new main event.
Yeah, this is going to get weird. Trust me. We have not heard the last of this story. This is going to be a
this is going to be a thing that's going to shape a lot of things in MMA.
Right.
The haves and the have-nots, where I think we're going to start seeing, or we might see some sort of unionization, I think. But we'll save that for a different podcast. So for Miguel Leon, for Nick Horaceck, for absentee Michael Burhan, who's going through a bit of a rough patch right now, our thoughts are with him. For Dave Wade, who is probably sleeping right now, I am Brandon Liggan saying go forth and spread beauty and light, peace, love, and humpiness.